Are you ready, Ninja Babe? Ready to face your fears, to ignite your passions and break through your limitations? Are you ready to get out of your comfort zone and go after your dreams with unstoppable force? It's happening here on the Ninja Babes podcast, the place where women spill it all about self-confidence, courage, and body image. This is where we show our strength. This is the sisterhood where girls gather to empower themselves and each other. Get ready to get rocked, because this is where you come to be encouraged and be transformed in order to live out your full potential. Be proud of yourself, Ninja Babe. Now let's get after it. Welcome to the Ninja Babes podcast. Today I am so stoked to have Jessie Graff and Jessie Flex Lebrecht. Let me speak more clearly. Sorry. Welcome to the Ninja Babes podcast. My name is Cara Polillo, and today I am here with Jessie Graff and Jessie Flex Lebrecht, and I'm super stoked to have them on the podcast today. Welcome, ladies.
Thank you. Can we differentiate our voices so everyone knows who's who?
Yeah, because you kind of have the same name, I guess.
We do. I'm Jessie Graff, and this is me. Hello.
I'm Jessie Flex Lebrecht, and this is what my voice sounds like. So,
and I'm sorry because I laughed over your
that's
intro.
Fine. It'll probably happen a lot.
Okay.
I'm humiliated. I'm really humiliated, and I want you both off of this episode right now. I'm just kidding, because that would be horrible, and I'd have nothing to talk about. Okay, so Jessie Graff, it's awesome to have you back on an episode. You've actually been on the Ninja Babes podcast a really long time ago.
It was so long ago, and I'm so happy to be back. I've been listening, and I love it. You do such a great job.
Thank you so much. You were back in episode 5, and do you remember that we recorded in someone's car at the back of, in the backyard of Ultimate Backyard Warrior?
Yeah, that's honestly why I thought all podcasts happened in cars, and I drove away to do the podcast, and now I'm back.
That's funny. And we were like sweating, and the windows were all like steamed up, and
I was
fun.
Really loopy. I think it was, what time was, because we had just finished UBW, so it was probably like 2 a.m. or something.
Yeah, and it was after you won, and I remember in the beginning, before we recorded, you were like, wow, you literally were so loopy, and you were like, this is a great time to record, because I'm like not stressed out, I'm like ready to talk. It was just like so funny.
Awesome.
So thank you for being back. And also, one other thing I wanted to point out about way back when is during that episode, you kind of made a call out to people to join our sport, the sport of ninja. And so it's cool to fast forward from then to now, because our topic today is UNX, and just how exactly you and everyone involved in UNX is working to truly further the sport of ninja and its journey towards becoming a sport. So That's pretty cool.
It's grown so much.
I know. And then Flex, I'm excited to have you with us for the first time. So welcome to the Ninja Babes podcast.
Thank you. I'm definitely super excited. Excited to talk about the sport as well. I think it's going to be really fun.
Definitely. So today you both have news to share about UNX. So I'm stoked to have you here to enlighten us on all things about this league, this entity, and to talk more also about this hot topic within the sport that's actually, I feel like it's going to be a little bit touchy once everyone else hears about it, talking later in the episode about how some of the men and women's competing will be a little bit different and what that will look like. So we'll get into that at the end. But first, I wanted to just dive into the basics. What is UNX? It's new. People have a lot of questions. So if you could just explain, what is UNX and what does the structure look like?
So basically, I think it's fairly evident that UNX is a league, and we have competitions, and they're similar to NNL style. But the thing that I think a lot of people aren't sure about yet is that we're also a streaming channel. And so we stream edited versions of the qualifying competitions. And so you can find right now, I think are there 3? There's 4. There's 4 episodes of the qualifiers where you can see everybody's run. And like the fast forward version that shows all the highlights. We've got commentators and professional video team that has all different angles. So that's like the big step up from what we've had in the past, is that you can watch these full episodes with high quality video. And the next round is going to be all live streamed with that video team. It's Echo Entertainment. They've been shooting like X Games stuff and a lot of other things. But they shoot action And so it brings these ninja competitions to everyone's living room. Anyone who wants to watch can tune in and get to know all the athletes who are competing. Anyone who wants to can compete.
That's a really good recap of it. UNX like stands for the Ultimate Ninjas Experience, and so it's basically a platform where you can find anything like for the home of like ninjas. You know, if you're looking for anything ninja, we're trying to bring it to all one like central spot in one area for people to go, so that way they can watch ninja, learn how to ninja, eat like a ninja, like work out, like all kinds of different things is what our goal is, just for everything that has to do with like being a ninja warrior.
Yeah, I'm really excited about some of the content that we're going to be producing. So there's going to be a lot of tips and tricks and tutorials. I know I'm going to talk about a lot of the recovery work that I do because as a new sport, ninja, we've got these kids who've been training in ninja so early, and a lot of the obstacles that we do rely on pulling and grip strength and don't necessarily have a balance of working out all of your pushing muscles. And so it's really important to be training in a smart, balanced way. And so a lot of my segments are going to be talking about how to balance those things, how to eat healthy, like Jesse said. And so it provides so much useful information. And there's going to be like daily workout routines of that, just giving a lot of that information. And on certain equipment that you'll be able to put it in your house, as well as like on local playgrounds or in typical gyms. So that's the part I'm most excited about.
The one thing I would say I'm most excited about as well too is that bar system that Jesse was talking about, the home workout system. Like it's really cool that we're hoping to start a bar system that people can purchase and put in their basement, or I'm going to put mine in my front living room, and making like workouts for people to do at home that like supplements like obstacle workouts. Because when I lived in Maine and I just started doing ninja, I didn't have anything ninja to work on. I went to Planet Fitness and got that like stupid lunk alarm on me all the time, like, you know, where it like sends the alarm because I'm doing stuff I shouldn't be doing. So I'm excited to have something for people who, you know, you get so many messages asking like, how do I start, or what can I do at home? And I think that's going to be one of the most exciting things, is that we have this bar system and workouts so we can give to people throughout the weeks and stuff.
I have a quick question. What's a lunk alarm?
It's this purple alarm that they have at Planet Fitness, where if you're being too like if you're being like a meathead, I guess they call it, like when you're like slamming around or doing things you shouldn't be doing, or for instance doing pull-ups on a Smith machine and like slamming it around. I got the lunk alarm sent off. This kind of means you're being a tool. So
I did not know that existed.
Sure does.
I've heard the term lunk before, but now I know about the alarm.
Interesting.
That's good. Does it also go off if you're climbing machines in a way
Yep.
like a leg extension machine where you're supposed to be sitting on it but you're climbing on top of it? That would trigger the alarm. Okay, but we don't have that alarm on our bar system.
We do not.
Right? Okay.
Okay, so
I meant no offense when I climbed on that machine.
Ninjas just don't know, you know, the quote unquote proper way of using things. We only know the ninja way.
I think the ninja way. It's the creative way. It's about finding fun, entertaining ways to get healthier.
Exactly. Okay, I do have a question though. So we're talking a lot about workouts and equipment and stuff like that. Where is this stuff available? And is this on the UNX website? Is there like a membership to get these workouts? What does that look like?
So the bar system is being worked on right now. Basically, we're creating something that is going to be affordable for people, and have as much supplemental ninja equipment that you can have at home as possible. So we're working on it. And they're also like researching on how to make the home workout videos and how long they should be and how long it takes to edit them and things like that. So it's something that's in the works right now, but we're hoping to have like pre-sales available in the next like month or so. So anyone who is like on like looking on the website, they can see when that's going to be coming out. So we'll have to tune in a little bit just to see when that does become available.
Right. Okay. So UNX is really more than just a league. It's like a whole entity that's working together.
Definitely. That's what we're trying to be.
Yeah. Yeah. I guess most of the content that is up right now involves more of the competition side. So it shows the 4 competitions that we've had so far that are all qualifiers. The next one, streaming live on November 2nd, is going to be the first major. And the other content that they have up right now is like there's athlete interviews, which I think is one of our favorite parts of watching, the show that's on right now on NBC. We watch and we love getting to know people's personalities who, our favorite competitors. And you get that like 2-minute introduction to this person. But on UNX, we're going to have a much longer format where you can really get to know people and see them every week and follow their stories.
Is that something that will just happen for athletes who are part of the majors, or will that be for every athlete who appears on UNX?
Flex, do you know that?
I do not know that answer.
Well, I can tell you that there are a couple up right now. Like, I really enjoyed watching Casey Rothschild. They did an interview with her where she talks through her thought process throughout the run. So it's the edited version of her run. And she goes through what she was thinking on each obstacle and what her plan was. And I think that's a really useful tool for people to watch and be like, oh, okay, here's one of the ways that you strategize through a course and how you have to improvise as things feel different from the way you expected. And so I think there are going to be a lot of those. I know Drew was talking about wanting to do course reviews in a similar style after competitions. So I think that's going to be a really fun educational tool.
Yeah, that sounds amazing. I love that. So can anyone sign up for UNX?
Yeah, we can have anybody sign up that's ages 13 and plus. So there is that age restriction. But other than just being 13 years old or older, then you can sign up for any of the open qualifiers. And before each major, there are 4 qualifiers to qualify for the major. And we're trying to put them in all different regions of the country. So that way, people can find a region that works the best for them and they can make their way there. That way it's not always on the East Coast or always in the South. Like you're not just traveling to one location, that there's hopefully something close to you for each one of the qualifiers that leads to the major.
Right. So with each major, there are the 4 qualifiers leading up to that. And we try to put one of those qualifiers sort of in each region of the country as much as possible. So far, that has worked. And so if you wanted to go to all of the majors, you would have an opportunity to qualify in your region for each major, if that makes sense.
So you're not restricted to just your region. Like I could go compete at all of the majors if I wanted.
The qualifiers. You could go and compete at all of the different qualifiers to their open qualifiers to make it and qualify for the major. And then for this season, all of the majors are at Ultimate Ninjas Naperville, which is where I work, just because of the live streaming that it's going to need. All of the majors and the major competitions are going to be at this gym, but the open qualifiers are the ones that are all around the country. So you can go to any of those. And then obviously if you qualify for the major, then you're going to be invited and paid for to come out to the major at Ultimate Ninjas.
Awesome. So then the major is the only part of the competition that is live streamed. The qualifiers are delayed, right?
Yeah. Yep. They're filmed by a professional team and then they're edited. So that way when they release those episodes on the platform, that it's like a 2-hour long episode that's been edited and there's commentary where the live stream is obviously going to be.
That's exciting. So can you also just explain how can people access the live stream? Will it be from your website or from YouTube or?
So the website where you can view all this content is unxnow.com.
So as far as like the memberships go for online, there's a 30-day free trial no matter what. And then there's a 30-day free trial where you can enter your credit card info for going forward. Like you'll have your membership and you're going to have all access to all of the videos. If you do the 30-day free trial without entering your card or actually paying for a membership, then you get access to the videos as well, but it's a lesser amount of the videos. And as more and more content comes out, is going to be just a certain portion of the content since it will be free.
So there will always be enough content free to get a sense of what the website's about and what type of content you'll have. But in order to have access to the daily workouts and the full spectrum of everything, you would need to sign up, and it's $5.99 a month. I think the first month is free. And then I think we have like discount codes if you want a percentage off the first month after the free month.
Yeah, so all of the majors, there's 3 majors and they lead up to the championship. And basically from each of the majors, depending on what you score at the major, you have to qualify for the championship because it's just going to be the top amount of people at the championship. I believe it's going to be 8. And then, so if you get first place at one major, you're probably pretty set for the championship. But, if you score like 7th and then 8th at the other one and then 5th at the other one, it's all going to depend on the amount of points that you get stacked up to other people and the points they get. It's going to be the top people to go to the championship. And all those points are based from the 3 majors.
Right. So conceivably, depending on who places top 3 in each major, it would be possible to win one major and not qualify for the championship, I think. So you definitely want to go to more than one major, but like she said, if you win a major, you're probably good. But so in order to get your best shot to qualify for the championship, you want to try to go to at least one qualifier for each major so that you have the potential to go to more than one major.
And is everything still scored the traditional farthest, fastest?
Good question.
Yep. It is the furthest, the fastest. Yeah. It's all the furthest, the fastest. So when you complete that obstacle, that's when your time has stopped for how far you've gotten. And then if you fail the next one, your time goes back to that obstacle. So if I fail the third obstacle and I finish the second obstacle at 37 seconds, that's my time through the second obstacle.
Another fun thing about UNX is that the courses are designed to enhance creativity. So there aren't many rules about like, you have to do it this way, you have to show control on this obstacle, or you have to touch each handle. It encourages like crazy creative moves. And it's kind of, the responsibility is on the obstacle designers to make things that don't have like a cheat way to get through it. Like if there's one where you have to do like hanging from different monkey bar type holds around this big curve, it's not going to be designed in a way that you can take a big running jump, cut off a corner, and skip the whole obstacle. It'll be maybe designed in a way that you could do like a big crazy lache from one thing to another. But like, if you can think of a really smart way to get through something, that's encouraged.
Yeah, Ethan's been working really hard with the different gym owners who have been creating these courses, make sure that that's how it's working. You don't have to touch 2 hands here. You don't have to necessarily show control on this. And it's just making it really fun to like watch the competitions. And I'm really excited to do one of those competitions because I think it's fun to have that creativity and like have different ways to go through the same obstacle.
Ooh, here's another point. So the qualifiers have been pretty similar to most competitions that we see where everyone's there. You can watch your friends, you can cheer for everyone. But in the majors, are we able to watch other competitors before our turn?
No. Yeah. So we're going to be in, we're going to be secluded from everybody. So we're shown the course and gone over the rules, but we're not able to watch other people compete. So we can't see their beta basically. So if Drew does some crazy move, like skips something and goes one-handed and lands to the platform and somebody else doesn't see that, then like they're not going to be able to see that. And so they might not think to do that. So it definitely is going to be different because you can't use someone else's beta that you didn't come up with on your own.
Yeah. It favors intelligence and creativity.
Interesting.
I love that about it.
Yeah, that's really interesting. So then, just to clarify, obstacles will be completed just by making it to a specific landing platform?
We believe so. We haven't seen the course for the major yet.
Oh, okay.
That would be breaking the rules. But yes, that is since all the other qualifiers have been pretty much that. There is a specific platform. There's a starting platform and a landing platform. There's the obstacle, and then that's it. That's what you do.
Okay.
Yep. And I believe as like the rules are explained to everyone together. And if you have like a secret question that you want to ask, I don't think that's allowed. Like everyone hears all of the rules. Are you aware of that, Jesse? I'm not sure.
Nope, but I guess we'll find out.
That may have been
We'll find out at rules.
In the last competition we had at Traverse Fitness, Brian Kretsch was running it, and one of his rules was if you have any questions, you have to ask them now during the rules. You can't come and ask me in secret later. So that may have been a Brian rule, or it may be a UNX rule. We should find out.
Okay, so meaning like if somebody has an idea for a move that they're not sure if it's allowed, they can't ask it in secret to avoid other people like copying their beta, basically.
But I'm not sure. May have just been a Brian Kretsch rule.
Have you ever had it happen where you're traveling and you realize that the city that you're traveling to has a ninja gym and you have to go? Or you literally want to plan a whole trip around visiting ninja gyms all over the country? It can get expensive hitting up so many open gyms at so many different locations. Well, there is now a solution to how to tackle visiting the ever-growing list of ninja gyms that you want to explore. The Ninja Passport is your ticket to all things ninja. For one annual price of $49, Ninja Passport gives you one free and one half-price open gym per year at nearly 140 ninja destinations worldwide. Now you might be thinking, that all sounds great, but I have kids, I have a family, and no matter what, every time we go to the ninja gym, it's expensive. Well, Ninja Passport offers family discounts. You can get a 2-pack or a 3-pack at a discounted rate. This is an awesome way to explore gyms all over and not be bogged down by the cost. Of course, you love ninja and are willing to pay what's necessary to enjoy this sport and the community that we love, but why not reap the benefits of this amazing program and check out all the gyms that are already part of the membership? The Ninja Passport is also a cool way to keep track of the gyms you've visited around the world. You can even share your ninja knowledge in the Flex forum and see their ever-growing events calendar. This is a cool feature of the website that literally shows events from leagues and ninja groups all over the country. So next time you want to know what's happening this weekend, check out the Ninja Passport's comprehensive calendar first, and contact Ninja Passport if you want to get your gym or your business to be represented on the Ninja Passport. Plus, Passport members get exclusive discounts with ninja retailers. Check out all the details on theninjapassport.com. And of course, for our Ninja Babes listeners, you can use code NinjaBabes for a 10% discount on your membership. All of this savings is insanely amazing, so take advantage of it. Check out theninjapassport.com. Hey, you know the podcast is made possible not just by me. There's actually a small but wonderful little group of us who makes the podcast happen. There's B, who's speaking to you right now. Of course, there's the guest who comes onto the show. Then there's our wonderful Ninja podcast editor, Maria Rella. There's also our podcast blog writer for the website, Janelle Copa. And then there's our amazing sponsors. I've already told you about Sleep Ovation, but maybe you have not yet heard about Propello Life. Propello Life is a non-GMO, all-natural supplement company that makes really amazing whey products, vegan proteins, supplements like amino acids, energy blends. I've been using their products now for several months and I love them. One of my favorite things is how easily the powders blend together when you shake them up in your bottle or put them in your blender. They come out so smooth. There's no gritty taste. There's no weird earthy or like dirt tasting aftertaste. The flavors are awesome. I love the dirty chocolate. That's probably my favorite whey protein. Their amino acids are a BCAA and electrolyte blend that I use daily, even when I'm not working out, just because it helps me stay hydrated and I feel great throughout the day, whether I'm working, doing my daily grind, or if I'm training or at physical therapy, because we all know that that is my grind lately. No matter what I'm doing, it makes me feel great. So try out their products if you haven't tried yet. Head on over to propellolife.com. You can use code NinjaBabes, all caps, for 10% off your order. Or if you're still not sure if you want to try the products, or if you're not quite ready to split up with your current whey protein, then head on over to Amazon and you can use all the same perks from Amazon to purchase Propello Life products. And you can still use my code. So use code 10NinjaBabes for 10% off your Amazon order. And again, still use your Prime, still use all of the awesome benefits from Amazon. You can find links in the show notes from the podcast or from theninjababes.com. And don't forget, when you use code NinjaBabes, you are contributing to the Ninja Babes podcast and making it possible for these great episodes to make it into your ears. Is there any conflict if you compete in UNX? Can you not compete in NNL? Or what about even with A&W?
No conflict.
Yeah, there's definitely no conflict with the NNL. But then, yeah, as far as the show, like, it's not a reality TV show based competition. So there isn't any conflict with it.
Yeah, they are aware of us. They've congratulated us on it. So as of now, they're aware, and there has not been any conflict.
NBC is aware. Okay.
Yeah, they're definitely aware of us. They have not expressed any concerns that I know of.
Okay.
What else? I think all of us compete in other leagues, and we're excited about opportunities to collaborate with them. Nothing has been, defined or determined, but like one of the things that we're looking towards doing at UNX is including the other leagues and making sure that we have a comprehensive schedule of like all competitions that are happening anywhere. So you can just look at the calendar and be like, oh, hey, there's actually a competition from this other league that I didn't know about that happens to be really close to the area I live in. So like a master calendar, a master map of ninja gyms and ninja related gyms. But that's something that's coming very soon, I think.
Yeah. And I appreciate that, because I feel like it's not trying to cause division within the sport. It's just trying to unify us and bring us further along all together as like one group trying to reach a goal of making this a real sport.
Yeah.
So then, is there any other ways that you feel like UNX is doing that, like is unifying us and is causing this to be more of a legitimate, respected sport?
Yeah, I think that right now, Ninja is such a warm, supportive community, but it's small because, if you don't live near a ninja gym, you don't have access to that community. So people can watch it on NBC when it's on a couple months out of the year, but then, they're sort of secluded from it. And so this brings that community into your living room. So this opens it up to anyone to watch and get more involved and get to know people. So I think that's a huge step to bringing it to the people, and then also bringing access to the equipment and so that you're not just on a pull-up bar at home trying to modify the rough idea of a workout that that maybe I was showing in my house where the entire living room is cliffhanger ledges. You're now having the same equipment so that you can follow exactly what the workout is and be in that community.
Yeah, that's really neat.
Yeah, and we're also trying to make it so that way a ninja can actually be a professional ninja year round and like be an athlete, not necessarily like working a full-time job and doing Ninja Warrior. So trying to make it so that way that's possible in the future. So that way it is a sport where someone can focus on it 100% of their time and not like having to have a full-time or a part-time job and doing it as well. So hopefully, with professional athletes, it builds the sport more and more where it just gets stronger and stronger as well.
Ooh, here's a question. So in in line with becoming a professional athlete, one of the ways that people are able to support themselves as a professional athlete is by getting sponsors and wearing their shirts and their logos in competitions. And so now that we have this basically televised event that anyone can watch, would any athlete who gets a sponsor be able to promote their sponsor by wearing their merchandise on the course?
I believe that's like the plan, is to have athletes sponsored. I don't know if they're trying to get it where the entire entity of UNX is sponsored. So that way, like, how Reebok sponsors CrossFit games and things like that. I don't know if that's the main idea, or if they're looking at individual sponsorships for those specific athletes. I think people are going to, the UNX members are going to be open to it of whatever comes, and we're going to kind of it's kind of uncharted territory right now, right? For ninjas really being sponsored. Nice. So I think we're just going to take it with how it goes.
Yeah, I think basically for now it has opened up the possibility for that type of opportunity to come. At the moment, I think that if you had your own sponsors, there would be no reason that you couldn't represent them in competitions that are now going to be available for anyone in the country to watch. Long term, we may have a bigger sponsor that would then sponsor the top athletes in UNX, but that's all guessing at what the future will bring.
All right. So another reason that I'm really excited to have both the Jessies with me today is you've both been top athletes within the sport of ninja, but especially, obviously, you're both women. And I'm just really excited to hear what you have to say about something new that's happening for UNX in regards to men's and women's courses. You've both competed extremely well in competition just as an athlete, not necessarily even like, oh, you're a woman athlete, oh, and you've done well for being a woman. No, you've done well equally against male athletes. And so I'm very interested. I was really interested to hear that the men's and women's courses for the majors will be different. And I was wondering if you could just explain the thought process and what that will look like.
So I have my opinions about that. But I also came from track and field. That's my background. And so I feel like that's a lot of where it comes from. So for me, I love that we're going to have different courses for the major. We're not competing against the guys, at least for for the prize money or for the placement. And so since we're not competing against them, like for myself, like obviously this is all like personal. I know it's kind of like a tricky subject to talk about, and sometimes it's a little controversial, but I don't really need to see how I stack up against the guys because I'm not competing against them. So to me, like, it doesn't matter to me. And if you look at like a lot of the past competitions, like the goal of the ninja course is to like really challenge the competitors. And obviously when someone's making a course, they're thinking about a certain percentage of the people to get through. You don't want everyone to get through, but you want it doable. Like no one's trying to make a course that every single person fails. Like that's not the point of this. You're trying to challenge people to their limit. And from my experience, a lot of the competitions, the difficulty of the obstacles, they increase as you go through the course. And sometimes that jump in the increase is like, it's a big jump up in the difficulty. And it's kind of a bummer when for like the women, there's an obstacle that like it turns into just getting to that obstacle the fastest for the win. And like, I want to compete on a course that the difficulty increases and I'm pushed to my limit, but also a course where like, I know it's completable and like should be a race to the buzzer for like multiple women. And I think if you look at like the elite men versus the elite women, our limits are different. Like if you look at last season, if you look at Drew and Daniel, like they got the farthest, and I know like Drew had the safety pass and like whatever, but like Daniel got to the rope and he was like one of the furthest ones, and Drew obviously too, but I got the furthest for the women, and like the difference of where we got to is like pretty big. So like I don't think anybody can argue that like the limits are different. They're just different. But if we're trying to challenge Drew and Daniel and a lot of these other guys, but also challenge myself and Jessie and a lot of these other girls, I think we need the different courses to show, like to fully show our strengths. And like, I don't know, I want to be able to be pushed to my limit, but a course that's doable for me is kind of my thought process on it.
So if I'm hearing you, it's really not about just making a course that's so quote unquote easier for women. It's more about making a course that women can truly show the ability and their strength. And it's the obstacles will be scaled in such a way that women can show their incremental strength differences compared to other women. Not so much comparing the women to the men, but focusing on the strength and the ability of the women.
Absolutely. Yeah. That's what I'm looking for on this course on Saturday is like, I want to be able to show how strong I am and how hard I've been working for this. And like, I know that I'm strong, especially like, I know that I'm stronger than some guys, but I don't think that I'm stronger than Drew Drechsel or Daniel Gill. Maybe in some aspects and things like that, but I just think that even putting us on the same course where you're trying to challenge them, you are going to show the difference in the women too. But yes, the idea of the course this weekend is for the women to be able to show their strengths fully, and for the guys to be able to show their strengths fully, and to get placement based on that.
So do we know, will the courses be completely different, or is it more so some of the distances of laches and like scaling of obstacles is like the same type of obstacle, but just a different scale? Or do we not know that?
What I've been told is, or what we discussed is that if we're doing the same obstacle, then it's the exact same obstacle. And then eventually I think they're going to veer off, or there's going to be some points where we're doing the same exact obstacle, and there's going to be some points where we're doing completely different obstacle. It's never going to be Drew is doing a 15-foot lache and we're doing a 12-foot lache. And like they moved it based on that, oh, a woman's coming next, so they're going to move it. That's not going to happen. It's going to be women's course and a men's course. But if we do, like, I'm only guessing, but like maybe the first 3 obstacles are the same, and then you fork in the road and you go your opposite direction to your course.
Mm-hmm. So one thing that I know women have always talked about and been very proud of is, in the case of A&W, you know, we're all on the same exact course. We're all, so to say, competing against each other, all against the same course. And I know girls have been proud of that. They've been proud to say, like, here I am. I'm not put in a lesser category. I'm not having to feel like I'm not as good as the guys. And I know the past 11 years on A&W, that's been something that women are so proud of. Do you feel like women will be upset at this course change, or do you think they'll be able to recognize why this is still important and why this is still completely showcasing our skill?
I think if you look at any other professional sport, then the men and women are separated. And I feel like if we have any chance to be a professional sport, I don't know, I feel like can we be the only ones to be different, that we don't do it the same way of all the hundreds of sports out there? It's just kind of my thought process on it. But then also, like, I want to be put in a position where I can reach success. I've said it before, like, I kind of envy some of the guys looking at some of these courses. Like, this is me personally, and like nobody else might not feel this way, but like I definitely look at courses and I get to a point where I'm like, man, well, I guess that's where, like, I don't think I can get past that obstacle. And if I do, I'm going to be really shocked. And the one after that, I definitely can't do. And some of these guys look at courses and they're like, yep, I got this. I just got to not mess up. And I kind of want to be put in that position where, like, I know that I'm capable of being a course. I've had it maybe 2 times before. And one of the times was in Cincinnati this past year, and I was right. And I've had it before and I was wrong. So I don't know.
I think it's going to be really interesting to see the change and to see how it plays out, because I do think that, like you're saying, if women are able to compete on their own course and then we really see the magnitude of how far each athlete can get, and it's a better incremental showcase of their strength versus, like you were saying, how on courses in the past, if guys are able to complete the course but women are having a hard time getting as far as the guys are getting, a lot of times it's like all the women are falling out on the same obstacle because it's a big move or it's just really tricky or it's a very pumpy obstacle. Versus now, if we do have, like you're saying, a separate course with obstacles that are more attainable for women at where we're at this point, we'll be able to see a lot of differences on the course, a lot of just more interesting course runs if women are able to go to different lengths on the course and all of that. And it's not like seeing the same course run over and over because we're all falling on the same obstacle. I think we'll be able to see more interesting runs and have more of that differentiation on the course.
Exactly.
Yeah, I think I agree that it will be really fun to have courses that feel more doable or suited to our current strength level. Because I think the difficulty of our courses are going to be based on the level of competitor that we have. If they make a course that's like, quote unquote, the women's course, and we all crush it, then that was poor course design. It's going to be designed for whatever level we are, like Jesse said, to hopefully push us to our absolute limit in an attainable way. I know, like she said, I've had a lot of courses on A&W where I've looked at it and been like, well, I'm definitely not strong enough to complete this, but if I were, what would be the most efficient technique to get through? And honestly, that is how I've looked at most courses on the show. And I've frequently surprised myself and gone farther than expected. And I think one of my favorite things about the show is like you said, Kara, the fact that I'm competing on the same exact obstacles as the men and able to see like, yes, women can keep up with the men, and I'm placing in the top 5 consistently, and that means a lot to me. But I also recognize the fact that when I'm placing in the top 5 guys, there are a lot of guys who looked at that course and realistically said, I am strong enough to do this, and made a mistake. Whereas I was so calculated that I didn't make any mistakes. I just reached the absolute limit of my strength. And I love that feeling and I love pushing myself in that way. But I also love the feeling of looking at a course and being like, I'm pretty sure I'm strong enough to do this. How fast can I push myself? And so I think having those two different areas to perform and express ourselves and challenge ourselves is going to be really exciting in two different ways. So I think I'm excited about this version too.
Yeah, Graf, thank you for sharing that. Because I think a really important distinction that I want to make is we're not looking at the women and saying, like, oh, women really can't do this. They really can't compete with the guys. So now we need to make this other thing.
Yeah.
That's not what this is about. And like you just explained, you know, you can be calculated, you can know your strength, and you can really get after it with your and perform to your full potential and compete well with the guys. And so it's not that we can't, it's not that we're unable or incapable. And I just really want to make that distinction. I want women to feel empowered going into this course and not feel like we're being looked down upon or made less than because now we have a separate course.
Yeah.
Do either of you want to say anything else related to that?
I hope that we start to see some obstacles that play to women's strengths in a way that like the men will look at it and be like, "Oh, thank goodness we didn't get that obstacle. I don't think I could do that."
Yes. I love that.
Yeah. I would love to see that too. I think um so many of the obstacles are just like grip and upper body based, but every now and then there's a couple that like I've always dreamed of having the body prop as an obstacle, and I've talked to so many guys who find that really hard and challenging, and that one I feel like I could just do laps on, and the same with like the floating boards, and I'm not sure if that's a core strength or a center of mass or like a hip flexibility thing, but there are obstacles that I think women are going to be better at than men that I would love to see.
Is there any other ways that either of you feel like women sometimes put themselves at a disadvantage either by doubting themselves or maybe even just not training in the best way possible for them? Is there anything that you've observed that you'd like to share advice or encouragement for women?
I think women sometimes get intimidated when it comes to training and maybe not necessarily knowing how to train or what to train. And then, like, I know I train with Ethan Swanson, Michael Torres, and Chris. And sometimes, too, like, I kind of get down on myself if I can't do exactly what they're doing, like these big, powerful moves or big, powerful swings. But it's a lot of it is about confidence and just practice. And I find that, like, yeah, maybe they do a course and then they move on to the next course and they're going off doing that. But I didn't complete a couple obstacles in the first course. And so I'll stay there and I'll practice those big moves and I'll practice those things that came a little bit easier to them. But a lot of it for me, it just comes down to confidence. Like, I get really nervous, especially in gym atmosphere training, because I just am nervous about falling and getting hurt. Not as nervous on the course because on the A&W course, because it's water and the worst you can do is belly flop and get some bruises on your legs or something.
Or dislocate your shoulder, you know, that happens too.
Or dislocate your shoulder. Hopefully not that typically. But like that's the kind of stuff I'm scared of when I'm in the gym is like getting hurt and then being injured for a long time. And so I feel like my biggest thing that I need to work on always is confidence. And there's a lot of times where I can do something. I just have to practice it a lot more. than some of these people I train with.
I think in a really broad way, a lot of people, uh, not necessarily women more than men, but maybe um, just are embarrassed to look bad trying something and are worried that people will judge them, or that they're judging on other people's skill level and comparing themselves. And I think it's so important to go into every challenge being okay with looking silly, because most of the time, no one's judging you, especially in ninja. Everyone's excited to see someone trying new things and for the opportunity to share their knowledge. Most ninja people will be so friendly and so supportive. And whatever you're doing, just I love going into a new challenge and being like, okay, I have no basis to even guess how good I'm going to be at this. Let's assume I'm going to be terrible and give it a try, and then I'll try to beat terrible. Be like, cool, I hung from this thing for 1 second. That's my new baseline that I'm going to try to beat. So whatever you're trying, I just always encourage people to know that when you're new, you're not going to be that good, and that's great because that means you have so much room to grow and you get to enjoy every little baby step. So, yes, that.
That's great advice from both of you. I appreciate that perspective, and I've definitely experienced all those things, just like experience comparing myself in a way that was just detrimental to my own outcome or just feeling intimidated. But Lebrecca, I love what you said about if you're training with a bunch of people and they're all getting it and they move on, being willing to stay back and then work on what you still wanted to work on. I think sometimes when you're training with a group and you're struggling to get something, but everybody else moves past it, sometimes it's easy to be like, oh, well, forget this. I got to tag along and I got to try and keep up. But there's nothing wrong with just seeing where you're at and wanting to focus on your own skill and on your own thing.
Yeah, for sure. I've definitely had training nights where I just try to keep up and move on from one to the next, and I just keep not getting something over and over and over, and then I leave and I'm like, man, what did I do tonight? I didn't complete anything. But those nights are good too. Like it's okay to fail. Like that's the biggest thing with ninjas. Like it's okay to fail obstacles and not get them and just know what you have to work on. But it can be kind of hard on your heart when you're leaving the gym a lot of times and just not having completed stuff. So I definitely have learned to stick to something until I get better at it or I'm able to complete it.
Yeah.
You can also adjust the challenge. So if you're working on a skill that is above your level, maybe, let's just use that example of like a really long lache. If it's just more advanced than the level you're at right now, I recommend doing a smaller version and giving yourself a smaller goal so that you can work towards something that's just barely out of reach, and make some progress and maybe achieve that smaller goal, knowing that long term you're going to get farther. But you want to have those little successes. So if I'm trying to do 20 pull-ups on a 3 centimeter cliffhanger ledge and I'm just not getting it, then maybe I can work on assisted pull-ups on that same ledge, or get the same number on a bigger ledge and just figure out what modification of that obstacle is going to help you progress towards the long-term goal so that you can be training, be getting stronger, because just continuing to try the same thing and falling over and over may help you with technique, or it may just be shredding up your hands. So be creative, finding the appropriate progressions to keep getting stronger.
Yeah, that's really good.
I'm really excited for this weekend. I'm excited to see how it all pans out and ready for it.
So UNX majors, the first majors are tomorrow. So we're all excited to watch that. And I guess the Jessies are excited to compete. And then the qualifiers, there's actually one in Center Court in Lawrence, New Jersey on November 9th.
Yeah, sign up now.
Woohoo! Join.
Blast.
Okay, thank you so much for being on the episode today. I loved hearing your wisdom and hearing all about UNX. If people have more questions, head on over to the website. And where can we find both of you on social media?
Mine is all of my social media is Jessie Graff Power, JESSIE GRAFFPWR.
And all of mine is Flex Labreck, FLEXLABRECK.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Dara.
Yeah, thank you for having us.